for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You have a motion for the approval of the minutes of the November 27th, 2018 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Public forum.
Stay there, I get it.
Call up to the podium Michael Ballantyne. Mr. Ballantyne, a reminder, 3 minutes. No items of specific personnel or specific student issues will be allowed.
Thank you. You probably think that, geez, Mike, why were you so confrontational the last couple of meetings and so opinionated? And quite honestly, I thought that the capital project was the wrong project for the district, and I think it was a bad project. But am I happy right now? Absolutely not. And when will I be happy? Number one, when the district does something about the building and grounds department that allowed us to get to the position we are now. And whether that's a staffing issue, management issue, training issue, budget issue, or even some outsourcing potentially. Going forward into the budget period, I hope you look at that and try to fix that problem. We haven't done it in years. But I hope you do that during the budget process going forward, understanding that there is a cap, and I know that's very difficult. I also hope that you put a project together going forward that maximizes state aid and impacts more program and takes a lot of the things out of there that really didn't belong. There are many things that we have to do. I'd like to be able to discuss those, maybe in a committee. I know you looked at putting a committee together for a turf field, but we didn't engage the public in a committee for the entire project. And I think that was a shortcoming. In that project, when you put a project together, I believe that what needs to be done should be put forward as one proposition. But then you should put together a separate proposition whether residents in the community would like sod fields, turf fields, or no improvements to the fields. Not a bridge over the light pole property, not new bleachers, and all those other things that were in there, but dealing with the fields, the baseball, softball, and the football fields. And understanding what the maintenance cost would be in each of those situations going forward. And letting the public know that if they indeed choose a turf field, that they would be looking at another proposition in probably a period of 10 years to replace the top of that turf field. Please engage the public, put committees together, and sell the program. Yes, I know you don't take sides one way or another, but when we had the previous project, the larger project we had, we went out in the community, we told everybody face to face what the benefits were, what the costs were, and we're there to answer questions. And I think that's really important if we want a positive result in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Mr. Burns.
Thank you. I'd like to respond to Mr. Ballantyne's comments, and of course with the primer that this is my opinion only. Mr. Ballantyne, the high school was built in 1915. a 103-year-old building needs more than just maintenance and repairs, and I believe it unfair of you to paint our entire maintenance department with such a broad stroke. As you look around the building, there are definite areas that need repair because part of the building and our facilities are 103 years old. And I know that the board will go back and come back with a new budget proposal for this, and we're all convicted to giving the absolute best possible for our students. I think that your comments would indicate that a lot of this was done without any forethought. We spent a lot of time on this. You know, in the past, other Board of Eds have made mistake. The middle school gym is an example of that it's an inefficient thing, and we wanted to do the best for our students and athletes, and I can assure you that the board will go back and come up with a proposal that will best meet the students' goals and objectives that we want to put forth. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. We'll move on to reports and information and correspondence. I just want to briefly touch upon the construction vote that was held. As we are all aware, the proposition failed. The board will, there was an exit poll that was taken. We are in the process of tallying up those results and making a spreadsheet out. I have asked the board that we will meet in January, early January, to discuss where and what our direction will be after we have a special meeting, specifically dealing with the results of this construction project and what we intend to do to either bring it back to the public or what the desire of the board will be at that time. So in January we'll meet. We will then bring it to the public with what our decision is at that time. That's all I have on that matter. Any other board members want to be heard? Jody?
When we have vacancy announcements, I see staff members sometimes share them on our Facebook page. Can we please make sure that it comes from the district and all vacancy announcements on our website and Facebook?
Any other board members want to be heard? No? Okay, I will go on to student representative for this evening. Do we have a report? No report? Superintendent Lisa Wiles.
So I just have a couple of things this evening. In your packet, there is a calendar for the budget preparation. I know Mr. Napoli put that together. When we get back, historically, the governor comes up with the proposal of what the state aid looks like at the end of January. We haven't gotten any indication that it will be any earlier, although maybe we'll be surprised. And just mark your calendars with those dates. If you have any questions about the dates or anything else, please, bring them forward to us. And we also put information in your packet about a yearbook ad for the board. So Mrs. Dory will be polling everybody and collecting money for that. I'm assuming that we're going forward with a yearbook ad.
Yes.
That's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Assistant Superintendent for Business, Mr. Napoli.
Thank you. Last week, on December 4th, the state education audited our food service department, specifically the elementary school, but they did branch out to other areas of food service. We actually did very well in the audit. One thing that we were short on, which you'll hear me talk about probably monthly, is letting our community know about the summer youth program through the town and how they offer breakfast and lunch free to any Ellenville residents. We don't promote that enough according to state education, so we're going to be sending letters home. I'll be talking about it. We'll be putting on WELV, Channel 20, just to make sure the community knows that any child can come over, whether they're in summer school, Boost Academy, or if they're just hanging out in the street riding their bike, they can come over and grab lunch or breakfast.
So
Thank you.
One thing I would like you to go back and take a look at is that, I've heard from some staff in the school that some kids, they're hungry, but they don't have the money to go back and get some more food. And as you know, some of these are tough economic times. So I do not want to see a child leave this school hungry in any way. So I would like us to take a look at what we can do food service wise. If a child wants to go back and have something else to eat, that's certainly within the guidelines of what the USADA recommends, and certainly giving them a chance to eat anything that they want to go back and have as far as a nutritional value goes, that we provide that to them without the cost if they cannot afford it.
Right, we actually, there are meal portion sizes that we have to abide by. If a student is free or reduced, they're allowed to have one meal. If they want to go back for extra a la carte items, they do have to pay for that. But we talked about this last year. We actually do have a sharing table in each of the cafeterias. So if a child doesn't want their milk or their juice or their apple that's wrapped in plastic, our cafeteria monitors actually take a collection. They bring them all together. So if little Vinny is hungry and he wants to grab an extra apple, he can just go over to the table and just grab it and have it. Sometimes I hear similar things like you just said, but they might not like what's being offered for lunch that day. We try to change our menu up to make it appeasable to the students, but not everyone likes what we're serving, whether it's green beans. Kids like tater tots and pizza, but that doesn't always make a full meal unless they ask for a full meal. So, I mean, I can certainly look into that a little bit more, but, you know, we try to make sure kids don't go home hungry.
My issue is specifically not the meal that's served, but if a child wants another hot dog because he's hungry or she's hungry, and they cannot afford to have that hot dog, this district should be providing it. And I would like us to be able to go back and take a look at what we can do to make sure those children's needs are fulfilled.
I'll come up with some creative ways to address that.
Thank you. Deputy Superintendent, Ms. Angela Urbina Medina.
The observation season is well underway. I included in my report the first breakdown of the observations completed by the administrators in the district, and I think that we're off to a great start. Nothing else to report.
Thank you very much. We'll go on to board resolutions for this evening. Personnel resolutions, Rob. 5.1. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the resignation of Shaquan Taylor, teacher aide, be accepted effective December 5th, 2018 with regret.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. 5.2. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the resignation of George Barthel, security attendant, be accepted effective January 2nd, 2019 with regret for the purpose of retirement.
Second.
For the purpose of retirement.
For the purposes of retirement.
This is for the purposes of retirement. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on this item? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? 5.3. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be it resolved that the co-curricular personnel as set forth on the list below be approved at the contractual rate listed for the 18-19 school year. There are 3, Ryan McIntyre, Brian Faduke, and Lamarck Logan.
So moved.
Been moved? Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any discussion on this?
Small typo in that third line there. 1235 per,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
small one, only one letter.
Okay, we'll have that corrected.
2 letters.
Is there any other discussion on this issue? All those in favor? Opposed? 1. Motion carries. 5.4. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be it resolved that Ashley McLeod's request for an unpaid leave for an additional year be extended until February 1st, 2020, be granted.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? We have somebody in her position?
Yes. Yep.
Certified?
Certified in the subject area that's agreed to continue on.
Agreed to continue on?
Yep.
In her absence? Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 5.5, upon the recommendation of superintendent of schools, be it resolved that Deani Fitzpatrick be appointed certified substitute teacher at a rate of $125 per day work for the 18-19 school year.
So
So
moved.
moved, seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. 5.6, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be it resolved that Jennifer Sherry be appointed uncertified substitute teacher at a rate of $95 per day work for the 18-19 school year.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? This is Ellenville student.
This is an Ellenville alumni, Mr.
Yep.
President, and
Yes.
I am personally pleased to see her return and contribute to the district.
I also echo those sentiments. I'm very happy when I see our Ellenville students and alumni come back to work in this district and to provide their experiences back to our district and their knowledge. So we look forward to seeing Ms. Sherry. All those in favor? Opposed, no one? Motion carries unanimous. 5.7, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that Ebony Nettles be appointed as security attendant at a rate of $17 per hour work, not to exceed 29 hours each week, effective December 12th, 2018. Civil service position requires a 6-month probationary period ending June 12th, 2019.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion?
Another Ellenville alumni.
Another Ellenville alumni. Great to have it. Local people coming back. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. 5.8, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved the following coaches for the winter season be approved as indicated for the 18-19 school year.
So moved.
Second.
And then, okay, any discussion? Jody?
I'd just like to thank both of them for stepping up and filling in when we really need it.
Yeah, I would like to also echo those sentiments as well. I'd like to thank both of these individuals, Tony Avery and John Paulson, for stepping up and filling in when we were in a crunch here to find coaches. It's very good. Any other discussion on this? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be it resolved that the memorandum of agreement between the Ellenville Central School District and the ETSRPA SRP unit be approved as attached, 1819-3.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. 5.10, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved the memorandum of agreement between the Ellenville Central School District and the ETSRPA Teachers Unit be approved as attached, 1819-4.
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. On to budget resolutions for this evening.
Motion to move 6-1, 6-2, and 6-3.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion on any of these? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. Under education, student IEPs,
So moved.
Move the list.
Second.
list has been moved. There are 23. Any
Second.
discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. Under construction, 8.1.
Motion to move 8.1 through 8.7.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on any of these construction issues? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries unanimous. Under other,
Motion moved 9.1, 2, 3, and 4.
Second.
under other, 9.1 to 9.4 has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on any particular item? If not, all those in favor?
Question, do we have to accept the referendum vote separately? No?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you.
So again, ask for all those in favor on 9.1 to 9.4. Opposed? No one. Motion carries unanimous. The next meeting date is January 8th, 2019. Mark your calendars for that. And I wish everybody a happy, healthy, and safe holiday season. Enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you back here in January.
Mr. President, before you adjourn, are you going to ask if there's anything we want to see on the next agenda?
Yes.
I'd like to, I think that would be good for us to see an updated report on outstanding costs for the former construction project, and I think it's still active, correct, Mr. Assistant Superintendent?
Correct.
Okay, so if we could ask the construction manager to prepare that for the next meeting?
You bet.
Thank you.
Any other items we'd like to see on January 8th agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? No one? We're adjourned.